We're
doing it.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Hey,
Robin, I love you.
How'd you get on here before us? Girl,
how
webinar
do you
masters. Goodness, Robin, I love you.
Thank you
guys
so much. Like,
our best friends. Literally.
yeah,
our
but
best
that affirmation means a lot. I think I was more nervous than I really.
I know, because you were trying to keep my nerves down, and then so for those of you guys that are watching, and you don't know
What
this,
the hell we're talking about?
We're talking about is we did our very first webinar today on feline stress.
Tanya.
And yeah, hey guys.
I love you guys
so we
so
did
much.
our first webinar ever, and it actually went way better than expected.
Yeah.
But you were trying to keep my stress levels down because I was starting to get like, I was just thinking about all the details and, I'm the detail girl, right? So it's always like we would be late for every single live by like an hour, or just be like, screw it, never mind. If Adrienne was in charge.
Oh,
really.
Thank you.
I mean, you know that.
Basically.
Yeah. She's like, oh wait, we need a computer for that?
What do you mean?
Wait a second. We
don't
need
have PowerPoint in that computer?
we need lights?
What?
So yeah, so I was really stressed about that. And then she was like, calm down, everything's gonna go fine, all smooth sailing, like easy peasy. And she was until we got on we sit down, and then you started getting
sweaty.
I could tell you were, we were both sweaty. We had swamp ass by the end of it, to be honest with you.
But it was really exciting. You know what was really exciting to me is that we know this, is that recognizing stress in our cats has been a game changer for our babies.
Yes.
So to be able to do a webinar about so much of what we've learned about it is really exciting, to think about all the babies everywhere that are maybe going to be better understood in a way, and given a different options to deal with different situations.
Yeah.
And that's very exciting.
And we had to do a webinar about it because we had so much. There's so much, as you guys that joined the webinar or are going to go back and watch it, you'll see there's just so much to accomplish in every single scenario with your cat. There are so many different things and aspects that we can do to help. So we try to keep it concise, but concise for the two crazy cat ladies.
Yeah, so it's still like an hour and a half long. But the cool thing about it too, though, and as we've learned, is that there's a lot of just staple things that we can do in any circumstance that can be really helpful. Yeah. So, and things that are great to just make part of our everyday routine that helps. I think all of bring down the stress.
All of it's how we have been successful. I keep moving that light. There we go. How we've been successful with our cats, because we have taken every single one of those steps in one way or another to help our cats.
And it's a fluid situation because there's new things that pop up.
And stress is so important because it's the leading cause of disease in our cats, guys, and we want to keep them around as long as possible, right?
For real. And that leads into a little bit of today's topic. So we're going to go ahead and start this
podcast. I'll get us going. We're going to talk today about the negative stigma behind cats and how they're so underrated. Okay, so and we've got one in here right now. But yeah, so we have no idea how it's going to go, so we'll just see. Okay?
Kind of off the cuff.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Do it again. Do you want me to do it this time, or do you want to do it? Do you want to?
Welcome to episode number 0030 of Back in the Closet with the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. We're super excited to be here today. We've had a busy day so far.
We have a beautiful busy day.
Yeah, we're recording on a Sunday, and it is
our favorite day of the week.
Our favorite day of the week, because we do a lot of stuffs and things with all the beautiful cat community in the world. And we hosted our very first webinar today.
Yeah.
On feline stress.
And it wasn't a disaster.
It wasn't horrible. And we
and then we had maybe more of those in the future.
Yeah, I think so. I think we could do this.
Yeah.
I think we can do this. Do you think we can do this, Lindsay? I think we can do this.
I was texting with Denise. I was like, maybe we'll do more of these someday.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think.
Yeah, I think we can. I think so.
There's a lot of great topics out there.
There's so many.
Specifically about cats, which today we're going to be talking about.
The stigma, the negative stigma behind cats, the fact that our cats are so underrated, and you guys, for those
not by any of us here today.
No, obviously not. But we got to change the world, peoples, right? That's what the goal is. Is we have to get this whole idea that cats are A, B, and C out of people's heads, so that we can give them a better quality of life. Even, I mean, give cat parents better resources. Give our cats better opportunities in
a more
this
enriched life.
Yeah,
our cats are super complex, very unique, beautiful little souls. Look at our Z right here. And I think so often it's like trying to put that square peg into a circle hole, or a circle into a square hole, whatever it is. It is a dog's world in so many ways. There are so many things that people will try to apply to their cats because it's something they do with their dogs, or something they learned about dogs. And even in the pet health community, there's so much more about dogs out there.
Like 99% of the information in the pet health world. And you guys know that we're like engulfed in the pet health world, and we love all the people that have all
we
this
love dogs
information.
too.
And
by the way, let's just say that.
Yeah, they love their dogs. They care about their dogs. They have all of these resources and information, and they're always sharing it online with other dog parents on how to help their dogs live longer, healthier, happier lives. And but it's just so almost non-existent when it comes to cats, which is why we are where we are. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise, right?
Oh yeah. Well, it's like you find a need, you fill it. Yeah. Right. Either we could, and this is how this whole thing happened. Lindsay said cats deserve more respect. I think that
I agree.
Really should be the name of this podcast.
Yeah.
Because
that will be the name of the podcast.
Let's switch it up. Cats deserve
more respect.
But I think that was one of those things where you see a need, and either we can be complaining about the poverty of the situation, that there's nothing there, that there's not enough, or that we wish that there was more, or we can do what we can to help fill it. And that's what we want to do. That's what so many of you do. I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing to be part of a bona fide cat community.
Yes.
But that's part of how we came to be. It is how we came to be. And we decided on, and we're still wearing our shirts from, I know you guys can't see this on the podcast, but we're still wearing our shirts from the webinar, representing the two crazy cat ladies, because we intentionally named ourselves that, because that stigma of being a crazy cat lady was also something that irritated us. Mm-hmm. How are people?
I mean, people called us crazy cat ladies. We were so ashamed, guys. And we felt it. We were in the pet health world for 10 years prior to starting our company as the Two Crazy Cat Ladies. And we sometimes people would give us. We always had cats, and the rest of my family in our family business that we worked in.
Most of our family and
all
friends
of them had dogs. And so when it came to a question about our cats, we didn't have answers, and they didn't have answers. Nobody had answers. It was just the pet health world. And then cats aren't pets, right? Cats aren't pets. Dogs are pets.
Well, even though it's
kind of like veterinarians, there's veterinarians, and they usually treat dogs and cats, but it's mainly like they. And this is not
take it down a notch. Don't be upset.
Okay, this is not all veterinarians. It does not apply to all veterinarians by any means. However, I get so many calls and messages and emails on the daily basis of people that are like, my vet just doesn't know what to do with my cat. My vet said, you should just put your cat down and he's eventually going to die of feline herpes, and I'm just going to keep giving him antibiotics, and he's eventually going to die. No,
it's like, no, that's not.
No, your cat's not going to die of feline herpes. He shouldn't die of feline herpes, and we'll stop treating it with the antibiotic when it's a virus. Like, there's so much
simple things,
right? But the veterinarians should know this. So they're veterinarians, and they're feline veterinarians, and they have to label themselves as feline veterinarians, but you don't see even like canine veterinarians,
right? Even in Las Vegas, they have the
they're just veterinarians. They treat pets,
right?
But pets are dogs.
Predominantly.
I'm just saying, it kind of. Here's my platform where I'm gonna kind of let out my frustration about it.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't realize that you were ramped about this as much as you are. I mean, we talk about it a lot, but I didn't realize.
Well, I think I let it stir up in me because I kind of giggle at it. I mean, and I give Dr. Karen Becker or Rodney Habib or whatever. I'll give them a hard time. I'll give them a hard time about it. But really, it's but for real, we have a huge cat community, and every single one of you guys should have all the access to all the information that we get about dogs.
Well, and here's the thing, is that statistics show that there are actually more cat households in the United States of America, at least, than there are dogs.
There are more cats owned.
More cats as pets.
Yes.
So to me, it feels like a priority.
We
have these beautiful beings, and I feel the same way about birds, about bearded dragons. If you're going to have a pet, understand and know what that specific, special little soul needs in their life to live an enriched and healthy life within the confines of an environment that is ours and not theirs. Like, I feel like that's a basic consideration.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I remember when I was a kid, someone was about to euthanize a bunny, and her name was Lily. And
her name was Lily.
And sweet little
who was about to euthanize a bunny?
It was someone in our church. They couldn't take care of the bunny anymore. I think it was our church. It may have been our homeschool group. I don't remember. But it was one of these situations where
homeschool.
You know how I roll. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was basically a situation where they couldn't find a shelter to take it. They didn't want to let it roam free because they knew that it would probably experience a terrible death. And there were circumstances that made it absolutely impossible for them to keep this bunny. They were giving it away with a little rabbit hutch and all that jazz. And my family ended up taking it. With that, I recall very distinctly.
What was the bunny's name?
Lily.
Oh, you kept its name.
Yeah. Very distinctly going through, like, what does a rabbit eat? What does a rabbit need for this or that or whatever? Like, all these little things to learn about a bunny, because cats and dogs are always lumped into the same.
No, they're not. That's what I'm saying. No,
well,
they do.
Are. Right.
They try to lump them into the same, but they're not the same species.
Exactly. But I'm saying that there's like cats and dogs, and then there's your specialty pets. Like bunnies and gerbils, and hamsters, bearded dragons. Those all have like their own little everything. Right.
Yeah.
But cats are often put together with dogs, and they are completely different. And I feel like the fact that there are more cats as domestic pets should make them more of a priority for all of us cat parents too.
Right, and dogs should be lumped in with the cats. You know,
that's exactly how it should be.
If there was going to be an imbalance here, it should be that dogs are lumped in. And I'm sorry, but there's a lot more information about cats out there, so we're gonna have to, people are gonna spring off and be like, well, let's start a dog business, because there's so much information out there about cats, and we need more resources for dogs. Like that would, I mean, you're right. For the amount of cats that are owned, if you will, or the amount of people that are owned by cats, really.
That's more accurate. Well said.
And we can get to that too. Versus the amount of dogs, like, shouldn't cats deserve more respect? Cats absolutely deserve more respect.
I think all companion animals should be acknowledged for their special qualities. I think that there is just and I think that we as humans are the ones that put the stereotypes on cats, and this comes from talking
my question. What do you think? Why do you think cats are have the stigma behind them? I mean, you know, like people. I mean, like we were talking about on our webinar today when we got to the aggressive, when your cats have aggression issues, as far as stress, because that means they're stressed out cats, right? Mm-hmm. So oftentimes I think that's a stem from the owner, but I digress.
But there's a lot of history that goes into cats too. Like, they remember stuff. So if you've rescued and you've got an aggressive cat, it's not your fault.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
But we were talking about how the all like the cat haters out there, which are normally dog people, right?
Again, we love dogs.
We do love dogs. We do love dogs, just not dog people. I'm just joking. Some of our best friends on the planet are dog people, and we love dogs. But I'm telling you guys, cats deserve more respect. So we were talking about how people that are scared of cats.
Oh yeah.
Think that cats are mean.
Right.
That's just like it's always like if they think about a cat, they think about a hiss, right. You know, and it's like, why don't you think about it with a dog?
What was
that? You know, I that's kind of sounded like a dying dog. I mean,
well, here's what I'm going to say. This I think there's a blanket.
I can't do it. I can't. We did it last week. Remember we did
the cat fight.
The cat fight.
But let's talk about this for just a second while I have it in my head. I think that there is fundamentally two different basic ideologies of being a pet parent. There is, well, calling yourself a pet parent, it obviously goes in one ideology, while others call themselves a pet owner. A lot of people look at their pets as property, like a nice new sweater, or I would like specifically this kind of sweater,
and it's not necessarily the term that you give yourself,
right? But what I'm saying is,
but in this scenario, that makes sense,
right? I mean, because the same people, and this is what's heartbreaking, the same people that deal with an aggressive dog will say that dog needs to be euthanized because that dog could actually cause physical harm. With a cat that's being aggressive, you're not understanding. They'll also say
We need to
Like,
euthanize
there's
the
just
cat.
no way this cat is going to be right.
It's like everybody thinks that like an angry or scared animal is
somehow
rabid,
their fault.
or somehow rabid, and they need to be euthanized.
Rabbit doesn't have rabies. I thought you said rabbit at first, and I was like,
because you have your eye on bunnies right now for some reason.
I know. Well, Kimberly shared her bunny. Foo-foo. Okay, so I love me some. I love all animals, and I think that most of us here love all animals. I, though, very strongly feel that a lot of times cats get this stereotypical kind of bad rap because people are looking at them through dog
vision
lenses.
Yeah.
Dog shaded lenses because dogs are far more expressive. They're far more, in a way, dependent. Cats are more independent, yet they're far more complex in so many ways.
And so they're so underrated.
They are.
And they don't get the respect that they deserve because
it takes effort.
You think
well, but this is what we were talking about before too. We've had a lot of people that are like,
that's why people don't get me because I'm so
they just get out of. That's probably right. You're so mean. We've had a lot of people. When you're first getting out of college.
Lindsay probably thinks I'm mean. Like everybody's. I think like lots of people think I'm mean.
I don't think so. Not if you know you. I don't think that you. I mean, unless it's like early in the morning and then you're mean. But I think, do you guys remember going through this, like when you first get out of college, or you first get out of high school, or you're going out on your own for the first time, and you're getting your own apartment? I remember so distinctly many friends of mine saying, "I'm gonna get a pet. I'm gonna get," and then it's like, "Ooh, I don't know if I can get a dog because my work schedule. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do this. So I'm gonna start with a cat because cats are easy."
Yeah.
Right. And I think that people think of cats as kind of convenience companions, right?
Yeah.
And there's not a stereotype. There is this idea that you have a litter box and you throw down a ton of kibble and they're good. They're good. Like you may not even see that cat for 4 days.
Well, and to not be judgy Judgerton, that's how we were when we first got our cats too.
Well, it comes from a place of empathy.
It wasn't that we didn't love our cats. I think most people do love their cats when they get them. If they're rescuing them, or if they find them on the street, or if they're taking them in. People are like, "Oh, I want to take care of this animal," and
super
it's easy, and I want a pet. And maybe I'll get some extra snuggles at night or something. And then they do exactly what we did. And we just throw down kibble and leave them for 3 days. Because we're going on a trip to Myrtle Beach or something.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that idea that they're just so much easier than dogs. And that's what I'm saying about looking at cats through dog shaded lenses. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like this. Well, they don't need to be walked every day. They don't need to go out and do their business. They don't need to, you know what I mean? You can't litter train a dog unless it's maybe a really small dog. Yeah. I've heard of people doing like the pee pads and stuff. And
but there are some ways in which I agree with the notion that cats are easier than dogs. In some ways, I do think that. I do think
Name one.
We don't have to take them for walks. We don't have to open the door every time they have to poop. Those are the ways.
Well,
yeah.
And yet we give them very supervised outside playtime.
Oh, correct. No, this is what I'm saying. Let me finish my thought.
Go ahead.
So I think that there is in some senses they are easier, but in other senses they're actually harder. A lot harder. When it comes to feeding them a good diet, the diet that they deserve, the diet that they deserve respect for.
This kind of relates to dogs though too.
No. What do you mean?
Well, if you were to feed a dog a species appropriate diet,
they eat it immediately as soon as you put it down.
Oh, well, they're easier to, they're easier
and even if they don't, you can starve them for a couple days until they do.
That's true.
But a cat is a lot more difficult.
Okay, I see your point.
A cat, you have
Calm
to,
down.
if you really want to, if they're your family member and you love them and you can do the best, you can only do the best that you can do, but you want to do, and you're going to work really hard. We have a beautiful Sarah. I don't know if Sarah's here, but Sarah is absolutely in love with her cats. She has so many cats. She has like 8 cats. Plus she fosters cats, and she has special needs cats, and they all have special needs. Like lots of, they require. It's like a full-time job. They require a lot of help,
special care.
And when it comes to like not having the money that you need, but to care for them in A, B, or C way, but you really, really, really want to make sure that you're doing everything, that takes a toll on us. It takes a toll on those cat parents that actually care about their cats as family members.
Yeah.
My bounce?
You are in.
Are my boobs moving?
A little bit,
Is that-
yeah.
Or is it
You
my hair?
obviously have a very secure bra on. Kenley
did.
said,
I
I know
went to
we're
the
missing a
second
lot
level.
of I know we're missing a lot of comments, but I've just looked up and Kenley said Jay is full of sass today.
I am.
Sass.
No, this is I don't need
It's in vinegar.
literally
Love
this
it.
is a subject that I'm so that I don't talk about a lot because
No. But we try to stay away from the negative. At the
Yeah.
same time, it is also, and this isn't necessarily negative. It's
no,
it's part of our
awareness.
passion. It's part of our
Yeah.
fuel to really, and probably part of yours
to
too.
normalize cats,
Right.
to normalize the companionship of cats, to bringing cats into your family. And you guys all know that. Everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching here on YouTube Live right now, we know that you are beautiful cat parents that love your cats as family members, and you'll do anything for them. And that's, like,
But
there's
for
no
example,
lesson to teach
I
you guys.
gotta
But
bring a little.
we gotta talk about
full
it. We gotta
tilt,
talk about
full
it
tilt.
more
I
often
didn't tell you
with
about
other
this.
people instead of being scared.
Yes.
Let me start with that. Let me go back to that, because when we were in our last business, people would give us like a cat mat or a cat
Oh my
like
God,
statues or
the
something.
floor mats for the car.
That's what I'm saying. My parents gave her cat
for my
floor mats
birthday.
for her car, and
Like-
I was like, girl, because we were in the dog world.
She was
and
like,
we
"You're
didn't
not
know
putting those in
anybody.
your car,
We
are
still
you?"
don't-
And I was like, "It was a gift."
other than you guys, we still don't know anybody. Like in our,
In our
very few people
immediate
in our
world.
immediate world. We know 2 people who also just had a baby that have cats, right? Oh, and 2 couples,
Right.
right? With cats, and we're not really that close to either one of them. I mean, we're close.
I mean, we're friends.
We're close. We're
but-
definitely friends, but
but
we're not
as
like
close as this, y'all.
we're not as close as
No.
them to as we are to you guys, because we understand our cats on a different level from even our friends here, and it's
For example, I do want to say, like, we had someone that actually had one of their kitties pass, and in that moment of grief, and I think that's for a lot of us, right? That's a change moment for us. We want to know, did we miss something? What can we do better? What's the situation? What can I do to avoid this kind of pain for my cat and for myself?
I think you have makeup on your lip. Either that or
Really?
you're growing a mustache.
Is it a
Oh no,
mustache?
you got it. Okay, yeah.
Oh God!
It was like
Because I got a
little bit of
beard.
Hitler thing, and I was like,
I got the beard going on, and it's
no,
quarantine
girl.
beard, but I don't want the mustache yet.
It's gone.
Okay. And in that moment of grief, we all are looking for what we can do to avoid that kind of pain again. And throughout the conversation, we were kind of talking about the things that we can do, a good diet, whatever. And I could see it kind of dawning on this person that it was going to take a lot more work than expected for a cat. And the statement was made, well, it's a cat. She had 6 good years. So it's like
6 indoor cat.
Indoor cat. So it's like, okay, in that moment you recognize that there's, for some people there's a tolerance of what they're willing to do to really look at the life of this soul that we're a guardian of, from their perspective, from their needs, as
and
opposed
no
to what's comfortable from ours.
And no judgment. We love these people, but it is, it's a different mindset than what we have with our cats.
Right.
And I want other people, and it's a hugely different mindset from what all of the dog parents I know have with
how
their
they
dogs.
handle their dogs. Yeah.
And this is where I'm saying, like, cats need more respect. Cats need the respect from their parents, from their guardians, from their owners, even on as much as, if not more, than dogs get from their guardians.
And back to the stereotype, I was just going to share, I think that there's that crazy cat lady stereotype, which is why we named ourselves the 2 Crazy Cat Lady stereotype,
Such your phone.
to mess with the stereotype. And then there's the questions. For instance, I have coworkers on my day job that have a number of dogs in their family, right? And I was having a conversation with one of them, and the question comes up, and I know he's got like 3 or 4 dogs, right? That's a lot of responsibility. That's 3 or 4 animals that you're going to be taking care of. Not once would the question come up, oh, since you're having to work from home during this COVID thing, I'm sure that you're just not getting any work done because you have so many dogs, right? So the question came up, how many cats do you have again? And
Really, during COVID?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And then just this like lighthearted grilling of, so I bet Jay doesn't let you get anything done. I bet you're always having to do this. I bet with that many cats you're doing this. And you know how cats are. And you know how cats are. And it was just
So
like
they
this.
actually think cats require more attention.
Or no, they
Well,
think
that's great.
no, they think
Because they do.
well, no, when I told him that we had 6 cats now, he was like, "Oh, so you're full tilt crazy now. So you're just
We do that a lot.
you're basically just clocked out of everything." Like just kind of in a lighthearted way saying, "There's no way you like we knew that you were crazy before because you had this cat thing. But now you have 6 cats and you're working from home. So basically, you're not getting anything done." And it's like, oh wow, just that. Even though it's lighthearted, it's offensive, right? It's like,
Oh yeah.
not.
There's a lot of things offensive about people. They give you the stigma of just people in general. But
not once was there anything like, if you say anything back about, oh well, you and your 4 dogs, I'm sure that you're just so busy taking them out to poop every 2 hours. No wonder you didn't return my email 2 weeks ago. No wonder I couldn't get through to you when I called yesterday. No wonder, you know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't even occur to me to say something like that. But there is this like this full tilt, or how did he say it? Full tilt crazy, because now we have 6 cats. And maybe.
But let me get back to how I was embarrassed about being a cat person.
Oh yeah,
because
I'm sorry I went off that.
No, I think I did, and then you did. But I was embarrassed about hanging up a picture that has a cat on it. I was embarrassed about putting.
Explain that. What do you mean?
I mean, I didn't want to be, I was in the dog world. I was in the dog health world, and I didn't want to be a crazy cat lady because there is this stigma behind cat parents to cat people too.
Yeah.
Not just cats, but cat people. It's the cats that make us cat people, but there's the stigma behind cats because of the stigma behind cats that cat people get a bad rap. But I was like, we're not going to be those cat ladies. Like, and everybody always called us cat ladies. They're like, oh, well, let me send you over.
Like, what
we get one phone call every like 6 months that says, hey, will your products help cats? And it's like, oh, let me transfer you over to the cat lady in the last business. And it's like, oh, let me transfer you over to the cat lady. And then they transfer over to me. And I'm like, yay, I get to talk to somebody that's a cat person. And we get to, have discussion and try to figure things out ourselves because I don't know. I can throw out some stuff. I can do like no searches because there's hardly anything online, but yeah, I don't know. So it's, but I was so, and still actually to this day, I'm not embarrassed anymore. I wear cat shirts. You remember I was embarrassed to wear a cat shirt. I wouldn't wear a shirt with a cat on it. Yeah. I wouldn't wear a shirt with like Cat Mom AF on it, even though that's super cool. No. Like I wouldn't do that. I would never do that. I would never wear this shirt.
Autofocus at first, but
that was like something I just wouldn't do. I was like, no, negative. And now I'm like so comfortable with it. I just own it. I own the fact that I love my cats, and I am going to be as crazy of a cat parent as all of those wonderful, beautiful people that really, really, truly, deeply care about their dogs. I'm going to be the same with my cats.
Well, and Nicole brought up a good thing. She said, part of it is because I don't think they actually take care of their dogs as well as they could if they knew better. I think there is an underlying, I know growing up, I think that all pets were kind of looked at as property. You know what I mean? Like it was my decision whether or not this cat or dog was whatever happened to it, right? It was kind of a thing, or it was cared for in a certain way that I can't imagine it being cared for in that way. And maybe part of it really is just an overall perspective. I think that's why the pet health community is so important
and
beautiful, even though it's a little dog heavy.
It's very dog heavy.
Now. That there is just a changing perspective of, having a pet is not something that I do for me. Having a pet is hopefully giving a good life to this special little soul that I am taking responsibility for.
Yeah.
And that we are their only advocate. We are their only choice for what they eat, how they live, what they have, what their life is like. Mm-hmm. And yes, that is so important for cats. And I think that cats are in that way a bit more complex because dogs know to ask for things a little bit more. When a cat is neglected or when a cat is not feeling well, or when
Cats are stoic.
cats will hide. They hide when they're in pain.
And if we're not paying attention to them when they hide and physically actually hide, we can go days without it and then be like, where's my cat? I haven't seen him in a few days. It happens a lot. I hear it. But when it comes to the dog world, I do have to say that we have so many people that call us and we're all about fresh feeding, right? Like one of the things that we're super passionate about is feeding our cats the best diet that's possible, and feeding a species appropriate fresh food diet is very important, we feel, for our cats, if at all possible,
Foundationally.
right? Foundationally. And that's what we feed our cats. But I've had a lot of people that have called us and they are like, okay, so I just found you guys on Facebook or Instagram or something, because my cat has an issue. And it's very interesting because I have 3 dogs or 2 dogs, and I have always fed them a raw diet, a fresh food, species appropriate raw diet. I've never thought about that with my cat. My cat's always ate meow mix.
Right.
Like, I've never thought about that. So this is interesting. How does that work the same for my cat as it does for my dog? And it's like, where was that disconnect? They are mammals. Like, they are still.
But it goes, I think, to that stereotype that cats are difficult, right? Like, you let a cat into your house, let it do its thing. Like, don't, and you give it cat food. Like, you just give it cat food.
So cats eat cat food and dogs eat human food.
Well, but I think that there's
in this case.
Right.
Right.
Well, making that connection, I get is sometimes how long did we work in dog nutrition?
I don't feel like it goes around.
We worked in dog nutrition for so long and never made the connection to
I did
a number of things
not for our cats.
For our cats.
Nope. But for our dogs.
We didn't have dogs.
I know, but I knew for our dog, I knew what a barf diet was
That's what I'm saying. But here we are working in pet nutrition.
Right.
And so, we're saying this with empathy and with non-judgment, but I know we sound fired up right now. A barf diet,
as bad as that sounds, it's biologically appropriate raw food. So, but I learned about that in pet nutrition, even though nobody in my family ever or still does.
Actually does fresh food. Well, except for Sissy.
My sister, but nobody in that company actually feeds a species appropriate diet to their dogs. But they'll say, oh, that's the best if you want to do it. It's expensive and it's blah 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 whatever. I just lost it. I had something.
But connecting the dots between, like, when we were working in pet nutrition and not connecting the dots, or when you were talking about someone who was feeding their dog.
Right. So it goes this way. It goes like, I have a dog and I'm learning everything that I need. And again, back to lack of education, but I have a dog and I'm learning everything I can about the dog, how to feed the dog, what supplements are good for a dog, how not to over vaccinate a dog, all of these things. But my cat is a different story. And I feel like it's a completely different species. So I can feed it dry meow mix and I can vaccinate the hell out of them. And it doesn't matter. Like, none of this matters to a cat, apparently, but a dog. However, you turn it the other way around for those of us, and I would bet my life savings, which isn't a lot, but my life savings, I will bet it all that every single one of you loving cat parents, being a cat parent, if you were to, and a lot of you guys do already, but if you were to adopt a dog after having your cats and learning how to really truly care for your cats, you would not treat your dog differently. You wouldn't be like, oh, well, it's a dog. We can just throw down Purina. And we just throw out, like, we just do an all-day buffet for the dog.
But acknowledging that you now have a dog, and a dog is different than a cat, and you're going to want to find the best
resources
ways, to help care for your dog. Tabitha said real quick.
I got some coochie cutters going on.
Tabitha said real quick that she's got a dream to open a cat cafe, and my friends think I'm nuts. Girl, do it. Yeah. We were so excited before this whole COVID thing. They were supposed to be opening the first one here in Las Vegas.
And we were partnering with them.
Yeah, and we were so excited about it. And I think that if you look at cat cafes around the world.
Again, because of the stigma.
Right, but the ones that do open are very, like, there's this, like, curiosity about them. And the ones that I've seen, like Colorado, there's a couple in California.
No, but I want to talk about this cat cafe bullshit.
Whoa.
Real quick. I want to talk about it.
What's the bullshit?
The reason that Meow or Never wasn't able to open, I don't know all the details, but I know that the hardest hurdle that they had to jump.
Yeah.
And was working for like a year
and a half
or longer trying was the health department.
Oh, that's
Let's
true.
talk about that. But yet, you can go to
That's true.
Starbucks,
Bring your
serves
dog.
food. You can go to where were we today? Or yesterday? We were at the liquor store, and you could bring your dog in.
Of course,
You
we're
were-
at the liquor store.
Of course, we're at the liquor store.
They don't deliver liquor out here. They don't deliver alcohol.
They do. We just don't know where. Like
Really?
Yeah, I know they deliver it in New Jersey. They deliver it
You
here.
know, we tried ordering it
They
once.
deliver it in
messed up our order.
Texas. They deliver it here.
But you can't like order it from the grocery store like we order everything.
Well, you
else.
can, but you have to go through a different.
Let's stay on point.
Anyway, so but you go to a Panera Bread. You can go to like all of these restaurants that are restaurants, and you can bring your
Dogs
dog
are
in.
welcome.
But you get a cat cafe where there's cats running around, and all of a sudden people think they're diseased.
Yeah.
And I would love to know why.
You know
people
why?
Think
I'll
dogs
tell you
die.
why.
Dogs die a lot faster than cats die.
Do you know why? There was a spat of time where there was nothing but these Toxoplasma gondii articles going on, and these articles actually said,
"Thumb at you."
Yeah, that you can't see what that was in the podcast, but it was a very
flip off of some sort of like the raw scale.
It wasn't the bird, but it was a big one. But they're talking about Toxoplasma gondii, right? And they're talking about the fact that pregnant women need to be careful. They can't scoop litter, right? There's this parasite in the whatever, and
that's
it goes
old myth information.
Well, here's the thing, though, is that they literally said in these articles that this parasite that's in cat poop gets into the brain of cat people and makes cat people obsessed with cats.
Oh my god!
And that's so really people that have a problem.
The news is all true.
The news is on fire.
It is all true, guys. Believe everything.
Every
that you
word
hear.
of it.
Please,
Yes.
believe it all, because it's like the media knows where it's
Dana
at.
said, "Oh my Lanta,
Right?
girl, for real." But I was so surprised, and I'm talking like there was one on the BBC, there was one in USA Today, and they're talking about it was some new study, and they're talking about this parasite that cats apparently use it for their prey or their whatever, that these animals that eat their poop, I don't remember exactly what, but whatever gets
dogs are who eat their shit.
Toxoplasma gondii makes them like cats uncontrollably. And it's just like, oh wow. So really, people that are cat haters think that we're all mentally ill.
I'm gonna cut somebody.
No, that's also mentally ill. Don't do that. That's not good.
I'm just saying, guys. I mean, we don't have a resolve here. All we can do is keep the conversation going. Let's keep talking about and keep spreading the news that, you know what, I'm a really cool person and I love cats. And all effing one of you guys are cool people. Everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching here on YouTube, good humans, good people, love normal things. You're not like, you're not dressed in a robe with, cats running all over you. And
I would like to be
they
dressed
can't.
in a robe.
I'm gonna cut you.
I would love.
You're never going to be that. So
I
long
would
as
want
you,
a robe.
Before you.
I mean, I'm just
divorce
saying,
me.
like in general, I would like a robe. I think
you
robes
have,
are
you
cool.
have a couple robes
Those
right there.
are your
They're
robes.
in the closet.
Like I want a classic robe.
That is a classic robe. The
That's-
blue and white one is a classic robe.
No, that's a
the most
beach
comfortable.
robe. That's a pool robe.
It's not a pool robe.
Yeah, it is. All to say, here's the thing. I think humans in general are the issue. As soon as we devalue something or make it, this is probably a bigger perspective topic as I'm saying it outside. If we devalue something, it gives us an excuse to treat it less than.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what we do with cats.
Yep.
So let's just all evaluate that. I know that you guys have that one down, but I feel like
Did you say less than?
less than.
Okay.
Did you think I said less than with E? That's a pet peeve. Then and than are two different words with two different meanings. And if you use them incorrectly, Jay will cut you. All right, we're wrapping it up, you guys. Thank you for listening to us rant for a hot minute.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I didn't realize we've been talking this long. Wow.
I
could
know.
talk probably for another hour and a half
I could
about
too.
this subject.
Isn't it funny that before we got on this podcast, it was
I wish we had a resolve. Like, I hate bringing up a problem
this
and not
is
having
the resolve. This community is the resolve.
Yeah.
This
keeping
movement.
it going. Like making the movement. Maybe we should all make a hashtag. Like, like I don't know what it is. We got to come up with something brilliant, something that everybody, like dog parents, cat parents, and no pet parent, or parents that. People that don't have a pet can understand and be like, oh, okay, cool.
Cats.
Because, like cats are becoming more popular. I get it, but it's all video, like cute cats, funny cats, weird things cats do, all of that. But guys, let me tell you a little story real quick. I wanted to give one story.
Okay.
Last night, Adrienne was in the room with the kittens. We have 2 kittens. They're like 10 weeks
Jack
old.
and Madison, and they
3
are
months, I don't know.
so beautiful.
I got up from the bed. I laid down for a second, checked my phone, and then I got up to go in with the kittens, and I saw Friday, our 2-year-old,
so special,
laying on the mat, and she had been like extra needy yesterday. I think maybe fireworks at the end of the night kind of triggered her a little bit, but she was laying on the carpet at the end of our bed, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to go in with the kittens. I'm going to lay down with my Friday. And I laid down with her, guys, and it going to bring tears to my eyes. If I could have videoed that, you know, the videos that make you cry.
A special moment.
I know. Like, I mean, if there was like something in my pocket that anytime something sweet happened, I could be like, and then all of a sudden cameras come on, it would have been perfect. But you know, there's videos that you watch of like, and they'll bring you to tears online. It's like these, you know, big tigers that remember the people that you know, that raised them as young
little cubs,
young cubs, like, you know, 20 years ago or something.
Whenever you see like a special bond between an animal and a human.
Yeah, and you see the special bond of them rubbing. This was what Friday was with me last night. I'm laying down. I just lay down on the ground right next to her, and I rub her belly. She reaches up and touches my face, and then she reaches up and grabs she puts her head in my neck, and she rolls over to me, and she's just like crawling all over me, just like, can I get inside of you, Mama? I want to snuggle that hard. And I was like, I want to snuggle that hard too. And so we were just trying to get inside of each other, and it was like the most beautiful moment, like literally the most beautiful moment. And I couldn't move. I couldn't move. I couldn't say anything. I couldn't grab my phone. I couldn't do anything. It was just like, this is why cats are. This is why people don't like. This is why you guys understand how beautiful the cat companionship can be, and the bond that you have with your kitties, and why outside people don't see that, because they don't see that bond that
cats are very private in many ways. Most cats are.
And maybe cat people
Jack
are
is going to be a little bit different, I think. Jack is a crazy snuggle puddle.
Yeah.
When he's a snuggle, Jack is like no other cat we've met so far. But he's got 2 speeds. He's got snuggle sweetness, and he has teeth and claws. Like, I'm pretty sure
he doesn't do teeth and claws with me, guys. I'm just gonna say we'll talk about this on another day.
Like my leg
talk
is
about
like
this on
ripped
another
up.
day. But we have fun playing. We spend time.
We'll talk about that next week.
He does not use his claws or his teeth on me. She's like, well, you tell me how. And I'm like, well, stop encouraging
That's not what
it.
I said. I'm not encouraging it.
You encourage it so much.
This will be next week's podcast.
Probably. Anyway, guys, we love you so much. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much.
Whatever day you're listening, please know that you are loved and cherished, and you should have a beautiful day.
We're just so grateful for this community. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for listening to us rant for so long. You know what I'm saying?
And then if you guys have any if you guys have any suggestions, or maybe
good night, Mary.
Maybe you want to rant too, like comment.
Let us know.
Yeah, comment on our video, comment on our podcast. Do subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, and Google,
like all
those other
places where they do that stuff.
To podcasts. And if you can drop a review whenever you have time, please do. We love you guys.
We love you so much.
Hashtag crazy cat community. Yes.
Yes.
Maybe. Mwah. We love you guys.
We love you guys. We'll see you soon. Bye, y'all.